So you've probably seen that electricity prices have skyrocketed, and that's not by coincidence. You might have noticed that a lot of these AI companies are purchasing huge amounts of power, and that of course is leading to higher energy costs. If you've looked around, then you have probably noticed that solar is an alternative to your utility company. And truth be told, solar can be a viable solution. However, there are some things that you need to watch out for before you sign on that dotted line. Now, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm just here to tell you what to watch out for if you decide to pursue the solar industry. If you want to buy from, say, the big companies or little companies, the elements are still the same. You need to be able to trust them, and you need to make sure that they're looking out for you instead of themselves. Unfortunately, in the solar industry, it's not always like that. In this video, I'm going to go ahead and tell you everything that you need to watch out for that might raise a red flag, as well as what you should request from your installer when they are installing your system. Although I'm going to give you a lot of pointers from someone who was in the solar industry for quite a bit, the main thing that you need to take from this video is that a lot of this requires trust and communication. Ultimately, it is your money that you are spending, and you want to make sure that at the end, not only are they going to give you everything that I said, but also the final bill. You should have a number that you all agree on. You should have a number that reflects all of the equipment and labor that's going to go into your system. You should look at it carefully and see if it suits your needs. Remember, nothing is definite until you sign that dotted line. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Well, first of all, who the hell is this guy? What credentials do I have in order to tell you all of these things? Well, I'm a mechanical engineer, but I'm also a former solar installer. I used to work for Sunrun, and I installed panels on hundreds of roofs, on all types of roofs you can think of, exposed roofs, flat roofs, shingles, S-tile, flat tile. I've done it all. I have a little bit of insights in this world. First, let's talk about some of the things that you need to watch out for. The solar industry, unfortunately, doesn't have a good name, and that's of course because they're trying to push as many things on you as they can. I think at the end of this video, the main thing you're going to get from it is you want to work with a company that you can trust. Building that trust is the hard part. I'm going to tell you some of the things to watch out for. Number one is shaded panels. You do not need any shaded panels. Get rid of them. Now, chances are that the solar company is going to try to sell you as many panels as they can. They're going to try to fit as many panels on your roof as they possibly can so they can make a good amount of money on it. But you want to make sure that the panels are not shaded by, say, a chimney or a tree, or make sure that they're not facing the incorrect way. These panels are a waste of money. They are not going to produce anywhere near what the other ones will produce that are fully engulfed by light. Now, if you don't have the technology as well, this one panel can bring down all the other panels as well. You do not want that. Why would you have all of these panels engulfed by light hindered by just one panel that is shaded? Get rid of it. If the company tries to push you and say, hey, you need these, they're lying. Get rid of them. You do not want to work with them. Now, number two is unnecessary upgrades. When these companies come out, chances are that they're going to try to sell you some upgrades. For example, maybe your meter needs to be upgraded. Maybe you need a sub panel. And some of those actually are true. For example, a lot of older homes are usually 100 amp panels and they need to be upgraded to 200 amps. That is valid. But for example, when they say, you need to move your main panel a couple of inches and so on and so forth to make room for the inverter, make sure you get the specs for all of that and measure it out yourself. These guys want to charge $4,000 to $5,000 for those services when they're only paying the foreman maybe $30 to $40 an hour to perform it. They're making a good amount of money on that. You want to make sure that you're not being taken advantage of. See, if it's a 100 amp home, chances are that that upgrade to 200 amps is necessary. But all the other ones, I would definitely watch with a keen eye. Now, you sometimes do need sub panels for these inverters and so on and so forth, and that is viable. I would suggest you have an electrician on speed dial to make sure that everything that these guys are telling you is valid. And finally, the final thing to watch out for is false information on solar panels. When I was working in the solar industry installing these things, I heard from a lot of customers some of the false information that the salesman would pitch in order to get them to purchase these panels. For example, there's a common misconception out there that the panels will work even if the power goes out. That is 100% false if you don't have a battery. If you have a battery, then yes, the panels will still produce power and they will still power your home. But a battery is $10, $20, $30,000 on top of the system. If you don't have a battery, your system is 100% useless when the power goes out. Do not believe everything that these guys tell you. Do your own research. That's just one of the most common things, though, that I heard from these customers. So now that you've found a company that you think you can trust, let's talk about some of the stuff that you should request from the company. And the first thing you should request is the plans. The plans are going to tell you everything that you need to know about your system. They're going to tell you the panel type, the specs, the size, how many of them there are, the inverter, the panel upgrades if you are going to have any. All of that information is going to be in the plans. Now, when I worked for Sunrun, we usually got 3. One of them went to us, the crew who would install the panels on the top. One of them would go to the foreman, and the third one would stay with the project manager. If you go out and talk to your solar installers, chances are they'll have one on hand and they would have absolutely no problem sharing the details with you. Now, the first page usually has a layout of all of the panels on top of your roof. Now, they usually get the information for this layout through Google Earth or some other satellite imagery program. And you got to be careful because these programs don't always lay out all of the vents and things like that on your roof correctly. So you want to make sure that if you can, you go up on the roof yourself and check that all of these diagrams are correct. Now, the second page, and this one in my opinion is probably the most important one, is the string diagram. The second page is usually a string diagram, and this diagram is perhaps one of the most important pieces of this plan set. It has how many panels are going to go in series. It has how many panels are in parallel, how many panels go into the inverter, how many cables come out of the inverter to your panel, how is the sub panel that they added tying into the main panel, what wire gauge they used. All of that is in this second page. If there's any page that I would recommend you save, it's this one right here. Take a picture of it, scan it, store it in a safe place. Because if someone comes out and they need to analyze your system, they will know exactly how this thing was tied together. Now, usually the other pages are specs of the panels, the grounding system, the railing system. Those are also equally important. So overall, I would say just keep these plans in a very nice, safe space and make sure that they are up to date. Now, the second thing to request is initial installation pictures. Usually the solar company, before they do anything, will go up on your roof, they will analyze your roof, and they'll take pictures. Now, it's important that you get these pictures because what a lot of these companies will do is they'll put a clause on the contract that says if your roof is too old, that you understand the risk of installing this panel system on your roof. You might not know it, but your roof could be 10 to 20 years old. Quite frankly, these companies don't care. They want to install, they want to sell you something. And they're not going to tell you that your roof needs to be replaced if it has to, so they're going to sneak it into the contract. If you get these pictures, chances are you yourself can probably see the state of your roof. Even though these companies don't want to tell you that, they will take pictures of things that they think is wrong so that they can cover their butt if they need to. That's where it's advantageous for you. You will be able to see all of the faults that they've identified, and if necessary, replace your roof first before you go with this solar installation. You got to understand that once you install those panels on a bad roof, your fate is sealed. If you need to replace your roof, you're going to have to take off the panels. That's usually a $5,000 charge, and then replace the entire roof and then install the panels again. That is a hectic process. Now, another thing to request is communication with the utility company. Let me be honest with you guys, installing these systems is not hard. Probably took us on a very simple job a couple of hours. For more complicated jobs, it usually took 3 to 4 days. Never a week in my experience, but who knows nowadays. Needless to say, these jobs are very simple. They're not that hard. They only take a couple of days to actually fully install the system. The problem lies in the communication with the utility company. The utility company will drag their feet and push it months and months and months ahead in order to get you to just wait it out. You have a system that was installed in a couple of days, but it's not doing anything because the utility company isn't really doing anything. So you want to make sure that your installer hounds these companies, that they hound the utility company and make sure that they are on top of it. Unfortunately, if they don't do this, they're just going to keep hounding you off. They're going to, well, what is this guy going to do? Who cares about this guy? It's just going to take more and more time. As a matter of fact, if you look at a lot of the news segments on the internet, a lot of them are because the solar company did not hound the utility company. They have a system fully up and running, but it's not doing anything. Great. So now this system is installed. They're hounding the utility company. What else should you request? The other thing you should request is post-installation pictures. Pictures of the system fully installed and, of course, pictures while the system was being installed. Usually, most solar companies will take pictures of everything as they're going. For example, all of the grounding, all of the penetrations, and so on and so forth. Now, one critical thing, you want to make sure that these guys take pictures of all of the penetrations. I don't care what anyone says, get a picture of all of them. Make sure that they show you how they flashed it, because that is where most of the leaks happen in all of these penetrations. The most common area where we saw leaks was penetrations for the harnessing system. Usually we have a harness that attaches to the roof via 3 lag bolts. That's where the majority of the leaks happened. You want to make sure that these guys took pictures of those penetrations for the harnessing system and how they flashed it. Any solar company worth their salt will give this to you no problem. In addition to penetrations, you also want to check and make sure that all of the wires under the panels are zip tied or neatly tucked on the rails. You don't want any what we called hangers from the panels, which means that the wires are essentially touching the roof. The roof gets incredibly hot, and of course if it gets incredibly hot, it can melt those wires, and next thing you know, the panel doesn't work and your whole system is down. You don't want anything sticking out from the panels. You want it to be all nice and flush. Now, another thing, and you might think this is kind of counterintuitive along with the pictures, is you want a picture of the plans again. It's like, wait a minute, why do I need a picture of the plans again? Chances are that the foreman probably jotted something down. If there was a change or if they needed to move it maybe a couple of inches, they probably jotted it down. You want to keep that in record. In addition, a lot of people don't know this, SolarEdge uses optimizers, and every single optimizer has a QR code. That QR code we would take and put it on the plans on the corresponding panel. That is incredibly important. If you don't have that, the person, if the business goes under, the person that's going to come in and try to fix it isn't going to know where that optimizer is. Now, SolarEdge will display in the app, hey, this optimizer is down, but how are you supposed to figure that out if you don't have the map? That's where you run into problems. Now, usually, like I said, we would take that QR code and put it on the corresponding panel. You want a picture of that in case anything goes wrong. All right, so you've done everything. The system is installed. It's beautiful. And let's say that the company now goes under. Ah, crap. Well, at least you have everything that I've told you about, but there's one thing that you still need, and that is credentials. Some of the best installers that I know of don't even know that you need to have this. If you are a homeowner, chances are that you did not receive the credentials to log into your system. For example, SolarEdge requires credentials to set up the frequency, to set up if it's going to be on or off grid, to set up new optimizers. You can't do that with the customer credentials. You need the installer credentials. The same thing is true for things like like a Tesla Powerwall. You need the installer credentials to go in and change the reservation and to edit some of the parameters. You can't do that with a customer portal. You need those credentials. If the company goes under and you do not have these credentials, the person that's going to come out to fix the system, if it suffers a problem, is going to have a very tough time getting into the system. So that is the final piece of the puzzle that I would suggest you get from your installer. Now, I don't want this video to scare you guys away from solar installations. Unfortunately, solar panels and solar sales have a very bad rep, and that's because a lot of the people that work here are salesmen, and it's the job of the salesman to sell you as much as they possibly can. It's kind of like a used car salesman at Teak. But I'm here to tell you that it's actually not too bad if you find a company that you can trust, that you really, really feel comfortable with. Once you find that company, everything else should just come naturally. They should have absolutely no problems giving you everything that I have listed for you in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video helps you guys out if you're trying to get solar installed, especially nowadays with the price of electricity skyrocketing. Many people are trying to look for solar as an alternative, but there's a lot of slimy companies out there. If you have any questions or concerns regarding solar, you want to send me a picture of an install, or maybe you're having some problems with it, feel free to leave it down below and we can look at it together. Thank you guys so much, and as always, take care. Bye-bye.